All right, hey there, welcome back to TwinStick Garage. On today's episode, I'm going to be working on the Bandit 1 Trans Am. It's amazing that 50 years later, just to give you an update on the old Iron Duke project here. So I'm still waiting for the custom drive shaft from Pat's Driveline, which will connect up this little short drive shaft from the transmission with this little short drive shaft going to the third member. So once I get that in place, I'll be able to finish up the drivetrain. Now I actually bought this drive shaft at Ritchie Brothers, but it's the wrong series. It's a little too heavy duty for this truck. So again, I'm still waiting for that custom drive shaft to come in from Pat's. And then I've also been working on the rear end here. So these are the awesome tub fenders I got from the Big Rig Chrome shop a while back. And I put the wheels in place so Blake and I could mock them up. They're just sitting on 2x4s right now, and they still need brackets. But Blake's actually designing a custom taillight T-bar setup that's gonna get welded into the aluminum frame rails here and support these beautiful tub fenders. So I can't wait for that. That'll be on a future episode. And then I've also been doing a lot of work on the dash. So this is the original dash I took out of there. I mean, what a rat's nest. And I've been trying to begin the process to connect up the dash that I got from Carmen a few years ago that he had in his Kenworth that got wrecked. But look how nice that is. And last week I actually wired in the key and then the glow plugs and then the start. So yeah, little by little, I'm trying to get this project progressed along. So if you want to see more on the Iron Duke, go check out my Patreon channel. Like I said, today's going to be a Trans Am day. It's tough for old TwinSticks. I'm trying to progress all my projects at kind of an equal rate. So I need to alternate all my Saturdays. And I can't wait for that bus glass to come in that Brett's going to help me with. We're going to put all that in the peat, and then I'll put all the chrome back on there. But like I say, today's a Trans Am day. And I also picked up this painless wiring kit. So I'm planning to rewire the entire Trans Am right from the fuse panel all the way back. Now I haven't started the wiring on this vehicle yet because what I wanted to do was, everything's kind of got to go in order. So I'm still waiting for Blake to come over and help me weld in all this, some new steel to cover up all this old rotten stuff. And then once I get that, I'll be able to finish sanding the car down and then put it in the inflatable paint booth I got from Vivor. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the inside of the car and the outside of the car, primer paint it at the same time. And then once this thing's all been painted up, then I can start putting the wiring in, rebuild or build that engine from Butler and that cool transmission from CPT, put that in there and get the drivetrain and maybe, just maybe, get this car on the road. I don't know if it'll be this year. It should be nice. I will commit to have this Trans Am complete for the 50th anniversary, which would be next summer, 2026. And that'd be the 50th anniversary from when the Smokey and the Bandit movie was filmed. So that's definitely my goal, and I think that's definitely achievable. So the last episode, if you watched that one, you'll remember that the original brackets I had for the U-bolts were kind of tweaked. Someone over-torqued them. So I ordered some new ones off of Summit. I couldn't believe these things were only like 20 bucks each. So I'll put those on today. And then I did get some new body bushings, a whole kit to replace all those rotten bushings underneath the car. And that'll allow me to put in those frame connectors from QA1. So that's going to be the plan today. And then put those shocks on from QA1. I got lots of work to do. So I'm gonna get started on that. But actually, the first thing I wanted to do was Wildfire Lifts, which is big, beautiful Wildfire Lift. They've got a new kit that I got from them. It's a LED kit where you put LED lights along the inside of the rail. So I'm gonna set that up first, and I'm hoping that'll give me some good lighting underneath to work on this car. Well, that's pretty cool. Now I got a little more light down here. And these are neat because they're just magnetic mounted. So I can move them around if I need to. Okay, let's get to work on the differential. Now I noticed that in the last episode when I tried to put this crooked plate on there and hammer it on there, I dinged some of the threads. So I'm just cleaning it up with a die. But what I was looking at on the webs, interwebs there, is 1/2 inch fine thread is a range of 45 to 70 foot-pounds. So I'll probably go somewhere in the middle. I kind of want them on the tighter end, so I'll maybe go 60 foot-pounds. Now they say never reuse U-bolts, and that's good advice. These things are cheap. Get yourself some new ones if you're gonna put some new leaf springs on there, and don't reuse them, because that could be a bad time. So just doing a quick double check on the torque. And you want to make sure you torque these in a kind of a crisscross, even pattern. And from what I've read, they can actually loosen up, especially with new leaf springs and new bushings. So after about, a couple hundred miles, I'll come back underneath here, I'll throw it back on the lift and just double check and torque them back up, because everything's going to loosen up as I drive it. But I'm happy with that. It's in place now. And I guess what I need to do now is put on these new shocks from QA1. Aren't those beautiful? And the cool thing with these ones is they're fully adjustable in both the compression and the rebound, can't talk today, rebound stroke. So I can actually adjust the amount of shock and dampening that's going to go on there. So these are pretty sweet, and they should bolt right in there. All right, pretty straightforward installation. So I'm just putting the little bushings on in the right orientation. There's a smaller diameter that matches up with that hole there. And then the bushing on the other side on the bottom. Now there's 2 nuts here. So one is the main one that puts tension on there, and then there's a second one which is a lock nut, so this doesn't back off. And you don't want to over torque this, but you want to make sure the bushings get a good squish. Something like that. And then a little extra nut goes on there. And I need a second 9/16. Can never have enough 9/16 wrenches, that's for sure. Okay. That ain't going anywhere. And then this upper mount. Uh-oh. That's not good. Why do they not reach? All right, so I went and dug the old shock out of the snowbank, and it's the same length. So I believe these guys, because that bushing should bring it, it'll bring it pretty close. It might be a little bit shorter, but it's not as short as the gap I'm currently at. So I actually went back and looked at the old video when I cut the old coilover shocks off of there, and when I cut it right here on the stud, the whole differential bounced down. So what that leads me to believe is this is actually compressed, obviously in ride height. So right now it's just the weight of the differential has pushing down on the leaf spring. So I'm gonna rejig the support here. I'll lower it here, I'll set it down on the blocks, and then I'll just lift it up on the differential. And then that should give me the extra length I need to bolt that in there. But what's surprising to me though is the fact that the shock fully extended would take the load of the leaf spring and actually keep the leaf spring slightly compressed. I mean, I guess it'd only be an issue when you jack the car up and it hangs down. It's going to put a load on the shock, but still, it doesn't seem right to me that that it would do that. But I guess I'll try this out and see if I can get those in there, because I looked up the part number and they are the right part number for a 1980 F body. So see if I can get those in there. Well, there you go. I guess it fits. It surprises me. I didn't think that the shock, when it's fully suspended, that the two bolts at the top and the one at the bottom would be taking the load of the leaf spring and keeping the leaf spring slightly compressed. But I guess it works. If it works, it works. So now the initial setup on the compound and rebound, or compression and rebound, compound and rebound, that rhymes. So rear shocks for drag racing. No, we're not going to be doing drag racing. Nice ride and handling. Firm ride and improved handling. 6 to 12 clicks on the compression and 8 to 14 on the rebound. So maybe we'll put 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that should be a decent starting point. And actually, looking at it further, I might just throw the wheels on there and just throw a couple lug nuts on, just to see what the stance is now with these new lowered leaf springs, because why not, right? Yeah, that's looking pretty sharp. So it's not lowered too much in the back, and if anything, it might be up a little higher in the front. But of course, the engine and transmission is going to go in there, so it'll knock that down probably another inch. But that's looking pretty mean. I'm digging it. And yes, I do have the proper snowflake rims. These are just the ones that came on the car when I bought it. So what I'm curious about, though, is are the stock 15-inch snowflake rims going to fit over my new Willwood calipers? So I guess that'll come in a future episode. If they don't, I might have to switch to 17-inch. But I'm hopeful that the stock 15s will fit. Because again, we're trying to make it to look somewhat like the movie. Not an exact replica, but 15-inch is just kind of old school cool. So hopefully they fit over. Okay, so I guess continuing with the working on the back end, I guess I'll jack it back up, take the wheels off, and then I've got my new QA1 sway bar. Rear sway bar, so Mrs. Sticks can go around the corner like the car's on rails. So I'll go ahead and put that on there because it'll match the QA1 big beefy sway bar that I got in the front. So we'll put it in the back and like I say, just keep building this car one step at a time. Oh, some more QA1 stickers. You can never have too many stickers. And some instructions. Okay. The rear sway bar was designed to fit QA1 4-link suspension and will not work with factory leaf springs.
Bummer. Huh? This is a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
I didn't see anywhere when I ordered this from Summit that it said it was only for the 4-link. But doing a little research, actually, I don't even think QA1 sells a sway bar that matches the original configuration. So I guess back to Summit, and I'll order one that'll actually fit. And then thinking about it further, I goofed again. I'm making all kinds of mistakes today. The sway bar, so it connects in here, and then hangs down and then ties into this U-bolt on both sides. So I suppose they've already been stretched. I could get 2 new U-bolts. That wouldn't be the end of the world. And then when that new sway bar comes in, I can put that on. So that's what I'll do. Now, you're probably saying, Mark, you're not going to stick with this original ugly diff cover, are you? And no, of course not. You know TwinStick's better than that. So I ordered some new gear from Quick Performance. So let's take a look at that. All right, hopefully I got this right. Oh, look at that. Made with pride in the USA, America. So not only does it look good, but it's also functional too. Because of course this is a 10-bolt diff and not a 12-bolt that I rebuilt. And the idea with these pins here is it puts a little bit of preload and support on the bearings to try and keep this thing together when you really stomp on it. But that is gonna be sweet. Now I hope the new sway bar that I order is gonna clear the bottom here with these gussets, but hopefully it will, because I think the sway bar kind of sits down in the lower end of the diff cover. So we'll find out when that new diff cover arrives, but man, is that ever gonna look good. So as I mentioned numerous times, everything needs to go in a certain order. And I'm trying to stay ahead and think ahead of what needs to be done before something else. Of course, I learned that the hard way today with the rear sway. But I haven't put the C-clips in on the axles, so these axles can still actually slide out. And the reason I didn't do that is because in order to put the new Willwood rear disc brake brackets on, they'll bolt on here. You got to take the axles out. So I didn't bother putting the C-clips in yet. So once I start doing the brakes and put all that stuff on there and then put the calipers on and the rotors, I can put the axles in and then put the C-clips in. Now, I'm thinking you can pull the pin obviously by undoing that nut there, but it's still gonna be a heck of a job. Well, I guess there's a little more clearance on this side to put the C-clips in. I'll just have to use, oh, you're blocking the light, Mark. I'll just have to use a magnet, feed the C-clip in there, and then hopefully it holds it in place, and then I can put that beautiful cover on and fill the diff full of oil and it'll be mint. All right, well, I guess that's about as far as I can go on the rear diff today. So now on to body bushings, something I've been putting off, but it's a necessary evil. So I guess I'll raise up the lift and get going on that. All right, so this whole subframe assembly is held in place with 4 bolts. Here, here, and where are the other ones? Here and here. And with those 4 bolts, this whole subframe can go shooting out from underneath the car. It's just held to the body here. Now, these bolts are held in place with a cage nut underneath the floor, and it's just tack welded in place. So I was just doing a little reading, and it says don't use an impact on there because you can risk breaking it. So try and do it by hand. And yeah, I can already hear it moving. That ain't good. So you know what that means? I gotta cut a hole in the floor now. Let's see if this one comes out. Oh, I might have got lucky here. Okay, so I only have to cut 1 hole in the floor. So that's something. So they say you just do 1 side at a time because you don't want the subframe moving. So you want to loosen all the bolts. Well, I guess this one and this one, and then I'm going to try and raise the body up just ever so slightly to get the new bushing in there. I was mistaken. There's 1 more body bushing up here in front underneath the radiator support. There she goes. Okay, now I wonder if I can lift it a little higher. No, because I need just a little more clearance to get that old one out of there. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, see, it's captured in there. So I don't know if I can pry it out of there, or maybe I'll have to cut it. It's got to be a way though, right? got here? So these aren't rubber bushings like the ones that came in the car originally. These are solid aluminum bushings. It's a little stiffer, a little more solid for higher horsepower applications, obviously. Okay, so there's 3 on each side. It goes like that. Smaller. There we go. And then these guys are for the front radiator support. So I think of the way it works is this grooved one goes in the upper part underneath, like right against the body, and then this guy goes underneath, and then the bolt goes through, and Bob's your uncle. All right, so that's the middle bushing that I just took out. So now I'm just going to raise the body a touch more. Hopefully I can get this guy out of here. Oh yeah, mint. One old bushing. All right, let's put the new ones in. Now according to this, the rear and middle bushing get mounted down. So that guy will go in the place of what I just took out. Okay. Something like that. And this guy goes underneath and put the bolt back in. Easy peasy. And same idea here. Oh, that's not a pinch point. Oh, can hear the snow coming off the roof. Yeah, something like that. Okay, now, whoop. How does it bolt in to this guy here? It must go, this must go over top of that, and then this guy clamps from underneath. So I guess I can go ahead and put the frame connector in, but it did say in the instructions that for whatever reason, on the driver's side of the subframe, they've got this collapsed a little bit. I don't know if it's, well, yes, it's probably for clearance for the emergency brake line, or parking brake, sorry. So I need to hammer this out in order for this guy to fit in there. Because as you can see, every flat surface becomes a workbench. See, it won't go in because it's hitting right there. But then that'll go in and sit in there nicely. Oh, that's gonna be cool. All right, so I got a bolt through on the back here just to hold it in place, but I'm not happy with the fitment yet. The bolts aren't lining up, but come to think of it, the body's raised. So maybe I'll set it back down and see what that looks like. There, try that. Oh yeah, that'll work. That's pretty cool. Put all that horsepower from the front subframe into the back. Okay, now I guess I gotta put some bolts in. Yeah, that's pretty slick. Yeah, that's a bummer. That side, the captured nut underneath the floor pan spun. I'm gonna have to cut a hole in the floor to get at that. But hopefully this one stays in place. Be gentle, Mark. Cool. Okay, now go do the middle one. Oh yeah, and I still got to swap the one at the radiator. I guess I probably don't want these tightened. Maybe I'll loosen that one back off. I'll just leave them finger tight for now. So there's still a little bit of play. There. Okie doke. Now do the radiator support, and this side's done. Now, it appears that this front, I guess it would be the fender and bumper support. I think I need to take this out of here on both sides to allow it to release, because it looks like it's held in here, because I haven't been able to raise this up yet. I hope that, yeah. I hope that releases it. I'll just start undoing bolts, see what happens. Well, my camera stopped recording, so you missed a lot of entertaining climbing up under the car and back down, but it's out of there now. That was a real pain. Lots of hammering. Okay, so I'll get the new smaller bushing, and this one goes actually the other way. So instead of having it, oh, what did it say? Let me check the instructions. The front bushing goes upside down. So the rib part goes at the bottom. Oh, old cars are awesome. Now I know why I was putting off this job. Okay, something like that. Okay, let her down. Oh, wrong way. Nope. Not quite. See if that fits. Oh, like a glove. Okay. And then that doesn't make any sense though, because then how's that supposed to go over the center? Let me look at the instructions again. No, I had it right. Put it back the way it was, Mark. Okay. Something like that. Okay, now the bushing squeezes it, and then this guy goes on the top downwards like that. Yeah. And it's not gonna fit. Oh yeah, there it goes. There's always a way. Perfect. Now put the bolt in and call it done, Mark. All right, so these three body bushings are in. I got the frame connector in, and it's just finger tight. So now what I can do is move over to the other side. Now obviously I can't turn this guy without cutting a hole in the floor, which I'm not looking forward to. I guess it won't be that hard. I just gotta measure it out and figure out where it is and open up a little flap. And then I haven't tried undoing this one yet. Let's see if that one comes undone. And I've already got the bolt undone on the radiator support, so fun. Yeah, that's ungood. So both of these are spinning. Now the captured nut on the other side is just tack welded in there, and I use the impact to try and get lucky, and no, I made sure that it's good and loose now on the back side. And to get in here, I can't cut a hole in the floor. Well, I suppose I could, but no, you can feel it on the back side here. You can just get your fingertips on it. But I don't know how the hell to get in there to tack weld it in. I wonder, do I gotta take the fender off and then the inner fender? I wonder if I can leave the outer fender in situ and take the inner fender off. Oh man, that's a bit of a science project now. So I think I might leave that for the next episode when I'm fresh and a little more ambitious, because that's gonna be a bit of work for both of these. But at least I know how to do body bushings now, and so do you, for following along. And I know those frame connectors are gonna fit. So with that, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I got a little bit done. I mean, any progress is progress, like I always say. And the Trans Am is one little step closer to getting on the road. So wrap it up there. Hope to see you in the next episode. And like I always say, don't ever forget, if you got it, truckers brought it. Just down here at the Calgary Bass Pro Shop store, thought I'd go inside and take a quick peek. Now this is a store. Man, oh man. You can get all kinds of good stuff here at Bass Pro Shop. Oh, look at that. Ain't an exact copy of the Bandit hat, but that's pretty close. I need that.